Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? What is good, y'all? What's good? It's your boy, the Ultimate Rage, coming back with yet another live. So, um, here's the thing, people. Religion doesn't really help us with anything at all. But before I continue, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you go ahead, follow me on TikTok at the Ultimate Rage 9 and at the Ultimate Rage 079. Um, Help me build my following so I could get back to doing lives the way I want so that we can actually get to the bottom of all the things that have plagued humanity for so long. So here's the deal. The fact of the matter is that one of the reasons why I rail on religion so hard is the simple fact that religion simply does not help us understand the nature of our reality. I understand that, humans long ago had no idea what the hell was happening. And so they formulated religion as a way of explaining why things happen the way that they happen so that people can function a lot better in society. But here's the thing, it is 2023 AD, and the reality is there's just no good reason to accept religion as a great way for understanding the universe that we inhabit. In fact, it honestly does not hold up at all. None of the religions. All of religion fails to help us to understand reality as it is. And as a result of this, we have people far and wide who decide that they're going to continuously stand on this nonsense, despite the fact that we can't even have real discussions about it without people losing their minds and getting all of their feelings. Because at the end of the day, most people who subscribe to religion have already wedded themselves to this belief system. And as a result, they can't be intellectually honest about any topic almost because they are jaded by their belief system. And the reality is that is the reason why I feel that it is necessary for us as people to challenge every idea and worldview that is purported, that is asserted to be correct, that is asserted to be the truth, that is asserted to help us to understand our reality. Because the reality of reality is that none of us know what the hell any of this is. We don't understand, how the universe came to be, why it came to be, if the universe is all that there is, or if there's more to it. And there's so many big questions that we need answered as a society. And the reality is, we don't know. We just don't know the answers. And I'm sorry to say, religious people, your religion does not have any answers of any kind. I mean, they purport answers, but their answers do not hold up. They don't hold up. Forget the scientific method. Religion doesn't even hold up against the Socratic method. All it takes is a few simple questions to destroy all the claims of religion because they just don't comport with the reality that we inhabit. And that's very difficult for a lot of people to accept because at the end of the day, our reality is the greatest mystery of all time. It is the greatest mystery of all time. None of us understand why we're here, why we die. We don't know what happens when we die. I mean, for all we know, that could be the end, or we could wake up in another universe or something. Who knows? We don't know. And the reality is that science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are our greatest tools for getting to the bottom of all of this as much as possible. Within the past couple centuries, we have seen an explosion of technological progress that we as human beings have made in society. And we're only seeing this progress continue to grow exponentially. I mean, now this AI craze that we've been seeing recently, it's only going to continue to explode. The impact of AI is going to be so strong, especially when you consider innovations like quantum computing or fusion energy. When you take in the fact that there's these innovations that are going to have huge impacts on our society, the fact of the matter is that it's going to be extraordinarily difficult for all these religious people to continue trying to explain everything away with their nonsensical theologies. So at the end of the day, every notion, every idea, every worldview that is purported must be challenged intellectually, because I can't speak for anybody else, but as for myself, all I care about are the facts, all I care about are the data, all I care about is the fact that none of these religions can demonstrate their claims to be true in any way, shape, or form. Which is the reason why I came up with the rage paradox, that despite the 13.8 billion years the universe has existed, the thousands upon thousands of years that religion has been around, and the billions and billions of religious people who've ever existed and who currently exist to this day, not a single one of these religious people can demonstrate their religious claims. I mean, not a single one, not a shred of them. And so the question becomes, why is that? Why would all these people believe these baseless, unjustified claims? And the fact of the matter is that there's a growing, widening gap between the scientific progress, discoveries, and innovations that have been made and the common layperson. Most people are not being kept up to date with the latest understandings of science, of reality, of the things that we've learned based on the research and the experimentation being performed by scientific experts. And not only that, but most people aren't taught critical thinking skills. So now you have a bunch of people who've become overly cynical in regards to any form of science. And so once we have these situations where people don't know what they're talking about, they have no idea what's going on, all you're going to see is a whole bunch of hyper cynicism, where even the most mundane things become controversial simply because most people don't know what the hell they're talking about. And so it becomes extraordinarily difficult for us as people to actually figure things out, because at the end of the day, we have way too many people among us who aren't educated enough on these various topics to be able to talk about them with any real intellectual understanding. Because here's the thing, it doesn't matter how much of an expert you are, how much of a genius you may be, we're all still human. Anybody and everybody is wrong about something, has been wrong about something. And it just points to the fact that we're imperfect people. It doesn't matter how much you research a topic, you still might get something wrong. You might come up with a wonderful idea that gets proven to be nonsense in the future. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with you. It's just to say that there's still so much that we don't understand about the nature of our reality. And as a result of this, it is incumbent upon us to work together to understand it. Because this is the purpose of humanity. The purpose of humanity is to understand the nature of our reality as much as possible. And then while we're at it, we can use these understandings to manipulate our reality to our collective benefit. But it becomes difficult to do when you have so many people working directly against making these discoveries, making these innovations that allow us to improve the quality of life for ourselves. So that's the reason why I'm so staunchly anti-religious. It's the reason why you always see me every chance I get rah railing against religion, because it simply does not comport with our reality. It does not match. It just doesn't match, y'all. And I don't say these things to be a mean person or to denigrate anybody. In fact, to the contrary, I say these things because science is our best tool to empower ourselves and each other. Science is our best tool for improving upon the terrible conditions that have plagued humanity for eons. Whether you're talking about various diseases, people losing their limbs, people losing capabilities such as sight, any of these different aspects that have harmed people for so long. Science is our best tool. STEM is our best tool for solving these ailments and, in fact, making us greater than we ever could have been before. So it becomes extraordinarily difficult for us as a human race to really improve upon ourselves, because so many people are afraid of change, or they're afraid of learning new things that challenge the beliefs that they have. And the thing that's so crazy is that now that we have mass communication, now that we have the internet, now that we have this ability for global interactivity among all of us people, everything needs to be put on the table now. Everything needs to be challenged. Everything needs to be really like gleaned over with a fine-tooth comb, because for us to move forward and maximize our potential as human beings, we need to get to the bottom of everything. Any idea, any worldview, everything needs to be put to the test. It is no longer acceptable for us to continue to allow nonsense to stand. It's no longer, in our best interest for people to just believe in all sorts of delusions and to subscribe to various different worldviews that simply do not comport with our reality. Because at the end of the day, now that we have modern medicine, now that we have mass communication, we have the internet, we have FaceTime, we have YouTube, we have all these different platforms that allow us to interact. We need to be using these platforms to maximize our capabilities as humans. And it doesn't help us to have a whole swath of people who believe all sorts of baseless nonsense that simply does not help us to improve our quality of life as human beings. As I always talk about all the time, on the Global Peace Index, out of a total 163 countries, one being the most peaceful, 163 being the least peaceful, the United States ranks at 129th, last time I checked, which means that we are at the bottom of the barrel in terms of countries creating a well-functioning society for themselves. And one of the main reasons why this is so difficult is simply because we as people don't allow free speech. We don't allow actual conversation and discourse, except for in very, very specific platforms. Even on a platform like this, it is difficult for me to get the word out because we have all these different people who are anti-facts, anti-truth. They are so wedded to their delusions that they will do everything possible to stay steeped in their delusions. I was building a big following on TikTok discussing these very matters. And all it took was a bunch of haters and weak-ass TikTok to have me shut down. The longer that we continue to allow this nonsense to stand, the longer that we're going to stave off our potential, not only our survival, but our ability to thrive. See, what people don't understand is that The reason why I do what I do is because I know I can see humanity's potential. And the reality is that our potential is limitless. There is so much that we could accomplish if we just allowed ourselves to accomplish these goals. If we actually work together as a human race, as people, to say, look, this is what we need to do. And then actually work towards these goals. But as long as we downplay the importance of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, the longer that we continue to allow charlatans and scam artists to perpetuate these ridiculous thought processes, these ridiculous scams, these baseless, nonsensical belief systems, the longer that we continue to allow these charlatans to purport these things, the harder and harder it's going to be for us human beings to actually reach our potential. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it like this. We have the opportunity to make ourselves invulnerable to disease, to injuries, to all sorts of different ailments that have plagued humanity for so long. I had an uncle a decade ago succumb to ALS. Think about the fact that we can eliminate all these different defects and conditions from the human population so no one has to suffer from these things. Imagine a world free of cancer, AIDS, HIV, cystic fibrosis, or any condition you can think of. Imagine a world where we actually are able to get rid of these things. We could accomplish these things if we literally work together to contribute to the scientific process, understanding as much of our nature, as much of our reality as possible. Religion simply is not going to help us do that. And by the way, whoever just joined on, thank you for coming through. Please hit that like button. Say something. Say what's up to your boy. Don't be afraid. You know what I'm saying? It's just you and me up in here for now. But in seriousness, like, religion will not help us to solve these different ailments. And I know people like to think that I am like such a hateful person or that I hate people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, whoever you are. Thank you. Thank you for the like. But for real, like, religion simply has had plenty of time to demonstrate that it's actually useful and helpful in terms of helping us create a well-functioning society and solving all these different ailments that people, you know, suffer from. And it just hasn't been able to do it. Religion has simply failed to help us create a well-functioning society. It's failed to help us cure diseases and heal all sorts of ailments. And so the reality is, the one tool that we have available is the scientific process, the scientific method, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, all these four different things working together. That is what's going to help us improve our society, improve our quality of life as human beings. It's not going to happen with hoping and wishing that it magically happens. And nobody said, and I want people to really understand this, it's not going to actually, oh my God. Of course it would be you. What's good, my God? Yes, I have been a part of religion, and you know this, my guy. You know this. But on some real shit, man, like, at the end of the day, like, and in fact, since you asked, my guy, yes, I've been a part of religion. And the fact that I studied so much of religion is why I no longer subscribe to it, because I was able to see that the more and more I studied it, the more and more I learned about theology, the less and less sense it makes. It just doesn't make a whole ton of sense at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I've said before, forget the scientific method. It doesn't even comport with the Socratic method. All it takes is just asking a few basic questions to cause the whole thing to unwind. You know what I'm saying? Because the most basic claim of any theology, of any religion, of any theistic concept is, where exactly is God? Where exactly is it? There's no point in looking at anything else, any of the other stories and the magical claims, any of that, if these religions can't show us the most fundamental part, the part where God actually shows us that it exists and that it actually interacts with us and that it wants to help us and that it's going to give us advice and all these different things. Every time I ask theists, hey, where's your God? They have nothing. They have nothing. There's nothing that can be demonstrated. It's a whole lot of feelings and hopes and wishes and circular reasoning and all these different things. But at the end of the day, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. But what I do buy is the fact that we have these technologies that allow us to interact in real time, that they allow us to actually, despite being potentially thousands of miles apart, we could talk just like you're right here. My thoughts on aliens crashing in Las Vegas. So here's my thing. I am always highly skeptical of any claims of aliens, alien discoveries, alien spaceships, aliens crash landing, any of that stuff, because it's a strongly fantastical claim. And so to you, my boy, I'm gonna introduce you to what's called the Fermi paradox. It's the concept that despite all these galaxies and stars and planets that exist in the universe, which are, the numbers are absurd. We're talking about billions of galaxies. Each galaxy has billions of stars, and each star has about 2 planets per star. So you would think we would see aliens flying around, spaceships, megastructures, all types of alien sightings all the time, and yet we don't at all. And so the question becomes, why is that? Why don't we see that? And so one of the answers that has been hypothesized was called the rare earth hypothesis, which means that despite all these crazy numbers of stars and galaxies and planets, that there could be so many factors required for intelligent life to exist that there may be very, very few intelligent life. In fact, we could be the first intelligent life in the entire universe. We could even be the only intelligent life in the entire universe. So when we see claims of aliens and alien spaceships and aliens crashing or whatever, we need to see strong evidence of that. Like, we can't just go by, oh, we see a video with this strange blue light, therefore it must be aliens. Because it could be anything. So the goal is we need to have super high standards. Because if we just went by the few claims of a few people, if we went by the claims of all these different people who claim aliens, why haven't we confirmed any of them? Why has there not been a smoking gun, boom, aliens, right there? We have confirmed it, and now the whole world can see that aliens truly exist. We're talking about, this would change our entire worldview as people in general. One sighting, one confirmation of alien life would completely, totally, and utterly change our entire world's view. Yeah, I've seen a video. I've seen the video. I've seen a few videos. And so the whole thing is, with UFOs, with UAPs and all this type of stuff, like, you have to actually, like, take it with a grain of salt. Because you never know what it could be. You never know what it could be. It could be some government vehicle. It could be a drone. It could be somebody, you know, in a freaking small plane. Like, you don't know. We don't know. And mind you, I'm one of those people that I want to believe that aliens exist. I want to believe that there is intelligent alien life out there, but at the same time, we have to be objective. We have to acknowledge the fact there might not be anything out there. Or there might be another explanation that, you know, might not sound cute and sexy. I'm not gonna comment on that. But at the end of the day, like, these things could actually be anything. And so if we want to confirm, yes, it is actually aliens, then we have to have a high degree of scrutiny. And that's my whole thing with any claim. With any claim in the universe, in the world, we have to be highly skeptical. That doesn't mean be cynical and reject it outright. Because for all we know, this could be it. This sighting right here could be the culmination of all the years of research, and then finally we confirm it. But until it is confirmed, we have to have a healthy dose of skepticism, no matter what. You feel me? Because, and the thing I look at is, if there were really, let's just say for the sake of argument that aliens actually exist in real life to this day, like they actually exist somewhere out there, and they have the capabilities of traveling interstellar, intergalactical. Any species that has this kind of capability is going to be way more advanced than anything we could ever imagine. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people question our current abilities, like, oh, why can't we map out the oceans? How come there's so many different species we haven't discovered yet? Why are there different aspects of our earth that are still uninhabited or that we are still undiscovered and things of that nature? And these are fair questions, right? But any species that's able to travel between different galaxies and star systems is going to be so advanced that crash landing doesn't make any sense at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, having the ability to drive a car, but then you can't walk down the street without falling and hitting your head. Like, how does that even make sense? Wait, you can drive a whole car, you can travel across the country driving, but you can't walk without just falling, busting your ass. Just for no reason. Like, we're not talking about you have some kind of condition or you got some kind of injury, but you just have such horrendous coordination that you can't do anything correctly. They can crash because nothing is perfect or 100%. Well, here's the thing. The reason why I say it doesn't make sense for them to crash is because the ability to even construct a vehicle that can travel that distance requires such a deep understanding of the nature of our reality that they should be able to come up with a way to slow the damn shit down. You know what I'm saying? Like, that even right now, just for us to get from here to Mars, like, would take so much work. Elon Musk thought he was going to have it done by next year, and it's probably going to take way longer just to get from here to Mars. Mars is the next planet over. Yeah, all machines malfunction, but the thing is, do you know how to create a spaceship? Because I don't. I don't know how to create a spaceship that could travel from one galaxy to another. In fact, right now, with our current understanding of the laws of physics, it's impossible to travel to another galaxy because the galaxies are moving faster than the speed of light because of dark energy. The expansion of the universe is constantly accelerating. So for a species to be able to create a craft that could travel from one galaxy to another, if that were even possible, actually literally possible, that would mean that they would have to be so advanced, so incredibly knowledgeable of the laws of physics that crashing would be pretty much impossible. And so this is why we have these issues with understanding the laws of physics, understanding, you know, what another alien species might be like if it was possible for them to travel to here from wherever the hell they come from. Because if they're able to travel from there to here, they would already have to be way more advanced than us. Like we have there's this concept called what's it called? Starshot. Project Starshot or something like that, where we want to send these super small nano machines from here to another star system called Alpha Centauri. Now, if we were able to shoot them right now from here to Alpha Centauri, it would take maybe 30, 40 years just for these nano machines to get from here to there. And we're talking about another star system, another star. The closest Earth-like planet, I mean, the closest Earth-like planets to Earth are in this star system, Alpha Centauri. Proxima B and Proxima C, I do believe, or something like that. But Proxima B is like the biggest target for like, oh, that is the planet closest to Earth that's a lot like Earth, that has liquid water. If there were possibly life somewhere, maybe it could be there. Maybe aliens could come from there. So that's a good target for detecting life. Species that's able to travel, let's just say from there to here. A species that's able to have a manned spacecraft from there to here would require such engineering and ingenuity that crashing wouldn't even make sense. Because mind you, you have to think about it from our perspective. For us to send a manned ship anywhere, we're talking about it's going to require lots and lots and lots of money. We're talking about lots and lots and lots of risk. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the potential for loss of life in such a travel is super duper high. Super high. And we're talking about equipment that's worth billions of dollars. It's not like you could just, you know, pull spaceships off of a tree or whatever. Like, you actually have to make them. You actually have to really work towards, you know, constructing them. And you're talking about potentially never recovering this shit. That's one of the reasons why we haven't done things like go back to the moon and stuff like that, because it requires a lot of money to do that. It takes a lot of money to go to the moon. It takes a lot of money to do any of these things, go to Mars. And unless there's a significant monetary benefit from it, or we're just there's so much support from the populace for this feat, the chance of us actually doing it is slim to none, because the NASA only has so much of a budget. You said there's thousands of galaxies, so if there's no God, what is the explanation of how they became? Okay, so this is why we have the field of astronomy, because that's literally what astronomers seek to learn. And that's exactly why we have the James Webb Space Telescope at the L2 Lagrange point. So basically, we've discovered that galaxies can exist even before we thought they could exist. How they came to be, we don't know. We don't know. That's why science exists, so that we can figure this shit out. But the whole thing about theism is that theism doesn't answer the question. It asserts an answer, but all it takes is me asking, where is God? How do you know? And unless you can actually demonstrate the answer, it's not an answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I took away the word God and I said universe creating pixies, universe creating horses, universe creating magic mushrooms, I have to actually demonstrate that this actually exists. and that it actually did cause these things to exist. So that is the reason why we're constantly developing technologies. That's why we're developing quantum computers. That's why we're developing newer telescopes that can help us see even further back with even greater clarity so that we can find the answers. And that's the whole point. These are the million-dollar questions that we don't know. We as people do not know. And that is super duper scary for people to accept, because it sounds fantastical. It sounds magical. It sounds insane. But at the end of the day, these are the big questions that we as people need to be seeking to answer, because these are the big questions that have plagued humanity since our inception, since us people came to be. All the questions of where the universe come from, where does galaxies come from, stars, planets, all these different things. These are the questions that we seek to find the answers to. And I know that people want there to be just some magic answer that we can just accept, and that's it, and boom, that's the answer. But the reality is, we do not know. We don't know. It is a huge mystery. And the more that we learn about our reality, the more difficult it is to understand it, because it's so complex. Our reality is super insanely, amazingly complex. That's why we have quantum mechanics, quantum physics, because at the end of the day, the shit is complicated as hell. It's complicated as hell. By the way, whoever just came on, make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button. Thank you for coming through. But yeah, these are the things that we as human beings need to be working together to find the answers to. Making it up and just asserting, oh, the answer is this right over here, is not sufficient. Because now you have to demonstrate that this answer is correct. And if you want to assert that it's the answer, that's fine. But now it is incumbent upon you to demonstrate that to be the actual correct answer. Now that we have all this mass communication, any idea, any concept that is purported has to be justified now. You can't just say, well, this is the answer because it makes me feel good. No, you have to actually demonstrate that now. There's no time like the present for anyone making assertions to now actually demonstrate their claims to be true. That's what's so great about the scientific method, that with science, we actually get closer and closer and closer to understanding what the answers are. That's why when the James Webb Space Telescope was launched, it really truly opened our eyes to what exactly is out there. Because it's helping us see things that literally were never seen before by anyone, ever, literally in human history. That's why telescopes and space telescopes and all these different, technologies are so vital, because they help us to further understand reality. Our reality is the craziest shit in the fucking world. It's crazy. I don't know if y'all know, but reality is crazy as fuck. And one of the reasons why it's crazy is because it's super duper crazy complex, and we have this innate desire to want to simplify everything. But the more that we learn, the more complex it becomes. All the things about quantum physics is not easy shit to learn at all. That's why we have all these different, physicists and all these different huge machines that we're developing. Even right now, quantum computing, they're still trying to figure out how to even create a quantum computer, because quantum particles are difficult to keep, stable in a quantum computer. So the more and more we learn about how to do these things, the more it's going to help us to understand the nature of our reality, and the more it's going to help us to understand what the fuck all of this shit is. Why? What the hell is all of this shit? Who are you? Who am I? What is this? What are we made of? We don't know. We don't know. Is it a simulation? Is this just reality and this is all there is? Is there more to it? Is there a multiverse? Is there a superverse, an omniverse, or is it even something completely, totally different from anything we could possibly imagine? These are not things that are going to be easy for us to figure out. They're not things that are going to be simple that we're just going to be able to understand in the next 2 years with just meditation. It's going to take a lot of research, a lot of experiments. It's going to take billions and billions and billions of dollars to construct these different devices and tools that help us to understand. Whether you got the LIGO Observatory, the James Webb Space Telescope, the next big huge space telescope, and all these different things that help us to understand the nature of our reality in its totality. So that's the reason why I tell people all the time, religion is simply insufficient. It's simply insufficient to help us understand the nature of our reality. We simply do not know what the universe is and if there's anything more to it. If there's aspects of reality that we haven't discovered, such as a spirit realm or some other kind of nature. Who knows? One thing I do know is that our best tool for figuring it out will be the scientific method and nothing else. Hoping and wishing, narcissistic tendencies, and overinflated egos are not going to help us understand the nature of our reality. Actually doing the work to understand it is what's going to help us understand the nature of our reality, and that's it. That's it. Now, my whole thing is, if you disagree, you can let me know, and you are more than welcome to demonstrate to me that you're right, I'm wrong, or any of that. But let's just be real. Theism has been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And despite the billions and billions of theists in the world, not one time, one theist has demonstrated the existence of God. Not once. Therefore, it is incumbent upon us all as human beings to work together interdependently with synergy to really get to the bottom of understanding the nature of our reality as it is. Using the scientific method, using reason, logic, fact-based evidence, empathy, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, aka STEM. These are the things that are going to help us really get to the bottom of not just understanding reality, but understanding ourselves as people. Not just as individuals, but humankind in totality. Understanding our biology, understanding how to improve upon our biology so that we can filter out all these different diseases and ailments that harm people left and right. So that we can eradicate all these diseases and viruses that have plagued humanity for eons so that we can become the best that we can be as human beings. Because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to happen overnight. But if we work together, we can make it happen sooner than we possibly thought. And we can accomplish things that who knows how great we could be. We can become literal gods ourselves. We humans can become our own gods. We could have superpowers, super strength, super speed, super intellects by genetic manipulation. We're already beginning to do this with, things like the CRISPR method and PASTE, which is like the next level of CRISPR. These are actually happening in real life right now. And most people don't even know about it because these things aren't being reported upon. And these things aren't just going to be naturally topics that people care about, but they're happening right now. And so in order for us to ensure that we're maximizing our capabilities, we have to make sure we're on the same page. We actually have to ensure that we're educating each other and that we work together to actually figure this shit out. Because if there is a God, if there really is some next level being, then let's figure this shit out. It's not going to happen with magic. It's not going to happen with, sitting around praying, please, Lord, please, thank you, please, now help me, please, Lord, please, please, please. It's not going to happen like that. It's never worked like that, and it's never going to work like that. So let's actually do the work. to understand the nature of our reality. So my guy Trey, thank you for coming through, man. Thank you for hitting that like button. I'm gonna keep doing this shit every day, and we're gonna fucking build, my boy. Please believe it. We're going to build. We're gonna make some shit happen. There's a lot of shit we could talk about. There's a lot of shit that we could actually like, you know, cover and what have you. But at the end of the day, we have to work together as people to understand this crazy, insane reality that we inhabit. So, anybody else, thank you for coming through. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be back every day, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, so we can talk about all different types of shit. There's so much to talk about. We need to be having these conversations for real, once and for all, as people. All right? So, thank you for coming through. I'm going to be back tomorrow at 2 p.m., all right? 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, peace out. Y'all have a good one. Thank you, my dude. Deuces. All right, I'm going to hit you.